Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Live Volleyball League of America regular season action. A huge rematch from last night's 5-set instant classic between our hosts, the Phoenix Ascension, and Tier 2's Southern California-based Rukkus. These two teams battled it out last night in an incredible match. The Ascension won 15-12 in set 3 after going down 2-0. Rukkus jumped on them quick. Phoenix battled all the way back. This will be a great rematch. Teams now that have seen each other once expect a lot of strategies, some different looks, some different strategic choices from the two teams. And also the storyline is that Rukkus just an hour ago finished a 5-setter of their own, beating fellow Tier 2 competitors Irvine Xtreme in 5 sets. Really excited about this one. I'm Rob St. Clair. Thank you guys so much for joining us live on the Volleyball League of America YouTube channel. Attack to Maxwell. What a dig by Melcher. Wexler tipped down the line. Melcher can't quite pick it up for now. Number 1 in blue and red, Michael Wexler, a name that you're going to hear a lot throughout this match the rest of this weekend. Absolute all-star opposite, 23 years of age, out of Pepperdine University, former Division I All-American. Harrington again. Was there a touch on the block? No, not this time. Nice block touch on the Rukkus side. A little miscommunication there. This is Leah Maxwell, challenges the block over the top and dug by Melcher. Kawiakamoa through a seam, dug by Palos. Oh, nice set from Schmitz. And Wexler terminates high off of Kawiakamoa's hands and out of play. Really nice volleyball that time from both teams, but a terrific set against the flow by number 7 in blue, Jeff Schmitz. Chessmaster moving the Ascension blockers around, generates the one-on-one. Wexler terminates it off the fingertips. Lewis out of bounds down the line. A little bit too much cross body into the antenna. This was a storyline yesterday. It took a few sets for Brian Lewis to Kawayakamoa roof foot covered. What a great cover by Melcher. Again, through a seam this time and dug by Palos. Maxwell through the block, chiseling and scoring for Rukkus. Some really high-level volleyball being played so far. 7-5 Rukkus lead. Kawayakamoa, the former setter, played at BYU, played in A1 Italy. Came back stateside after his overseas professional career, decided to switch positions. And boy, is he good and right on cue. A really smart choice. Going right off the fingertips of the short blocker, Jeff Schmitz. Kawayakamoa now to serve. Got some variety and some options for the service line as well. Let's see the jump spin. Perfect pass by Palos. Vaz cross body but misses short into the tape. Pretty well watched by Olsen. Missed opportunity there for Rukkus with a very good pass. Clean Vaz for 27. Maxwell a little bit early to that ball. Nice swing down the line. Dug by Melcher. This is Nadazhdin. A net violation was indeed called there by our down official. It was the block of Kavim Vaz, so a point to Phoenix on that one. Kawayakamoa again. Lead for the first time at 8-7. Jump serve just out of bounds. Well watched by Garrett Mizarek. 21 in gray, the libero for Rukkus. Tied at the game here, we're on here 7-1. The last 3 out of 5 sets of 25 points, must win by 2. They go to 5 like Rukkus has in both their matches so far. It'll be played to 15. Sharp cross court by Nadazhdin right on the sideline. Number 11 in purple, Serge Nadazhdin out of Long Beach State University. A huge piece for the Phoenix Ascension. Played great yesterday and was a go-to guy in almost every rotation. Even the take rotation one, the one time when the opposite and the outside hitters switch pins and serve receive. Nadazhdin on the right side of that rotation is a go-to. Webster high over the top of the block, hits the block touch and deflects off the defense for the back row put away for Rukkus. 9-9 with Kavim Vaz back at the line. Has some serve variety as well. A good jump server. This will be the float. Working down the line. Did that fall inside the end line? No, not quite. Well watched by Kawayakamoa. This is Melcher back to rotation one where we started. See who goes after with the float serve. It's Liam Maxwell's hands. Perfect passes. Palos on the left side. Down the line. And right inside the corner. A brilliant swing by number 10 in blue. Luis Palos, a really good-sized outside hitter at 6'7". Another Cal Baptist product. Finished his career there just as that program was cut. Great ball control, a really high contact point, an important piece of Rukkus all weekend long. Harrington out of the middle, left-handed slap to the floor. Transition opportunity here. Palos right on cue, high off the hands and out of play. Nice opportunity to score on serve there, taken by Rukkus, and they lead 11-10. We'll talk about all weekend long. Pin hitters, high-level pin hitters, especially at the professional level like this, are not afraid of the block. They will use the block to their advantage. They will ball high in the hands like you saw Palos just there. Perfect pass from libero CJ Suarez! And right on cue, there's Nadazhdin out of the back row. Or not the back row, excuse me, but the back side of the right side of rotation one. He's exceptionally good at hitting that ball down the line. Not a typical skill that right-handed opposites all have. The right side attackers anyway. Rukkus block might have to make that adjustment as the match goes on in that rotation. Good jump serve by Nadazhdin. Schmitz to Palos on the right side, also down the line, but just out of bounds. Well, I'm not sure. What's the call going to be here from our line judge? That was very, very close. I could not see from where I'm sitting. Our officials are going to get together and talk about this. Libero CJ Suarez for Phoenix just insisting on that over on 3. Here's a big chance for Rukkus. Wexter on the left side, high into the hands of Lewis and out of play. Side off of his own pass, high through the hands of Lewis, and a diving Melcher with a pretty good touch, but not quite good enough to keep that one off the floor. 13 serving 14, good competitive set number 1 here brewing so far, and if you watched last night's match, you know how evenly matched these two squads are. Good pass there from Nadazin. Olsen, what a cover by Melcher off the block. You've got to be kidding me, what a play that is. There's Kawiakamoa there. Former setter, off of an incredible cover from Zach Melcher, Kawiakamoa all the way across the court, a perfect delivery to Brian Lewis, forces it through the block for Kaveen Vaz. Oh, the bump one, the quick tempo middle attack off the platform. Ascension now in transition down the line. What a bump set that time by Como. Maxwell rolled though long and just barely out of bounds. Again. Wexter high down the line. Was there a touch on the way out? No, not quite. And after the Wexter hitting error, now the Ascension lead up to 4. And Rukkus is going to take a timeout here to talk things over. I love Ascension's energy here early on. Something that they lacked the first couple sets yesterday in this same matchup. And a piece of the scouting report that they knew they had to take forward into today's match is an impressive adjustment so far by both teams. A lot of chess matches going on here, and some entertaining volleyball to watch. We'll be right back after a quick break for the end of set number 1. Lewis serving out of the timeout, 17-13 the score in favor of Phoenix. Rotation 3 receive here for Rukkus. This is Maxwell on the left side, explodes cross court against a one-on-one. Outstanding delivery from Schmitz again, generating the favorable offensive look for Leah Maxwell, number 24 in blue, an East Coast product from New Jersey, an alumnus of Belmont Abbey University. Low pass by Nadazin. This is Lewis out of the back row, into the block, but covered. Kawiakamoa is roofed by Vaz right on the sideline. What a move by number 27 in blue, getting out there and stealing that seam, and also able to turn that ball back in to catch the sideline. Really nice block move by Rukkus. And right back in this thing, 2 points in a row after the timeout. Wexter clips the tape, handled well by Suarez. This is Lewis out of the back row again! What a stuff block that is, Vaz with 2 in a row. 3 points in a row out of the Rukkus timeout. And 2 colossal stuff blocks by Kaveen Vaz, asserting his dominance. Tough hand pass by Nadazin. This is Kawiakamoa way out of system, tipped into the block of Vaz, but baited him right into the net on the swat of his block follow through. Nice off-speed choice by Joe Kawiakamoa, and a big side out that Ascension desperately needed. Who's going to grab the momentum here in this next couple points? Rukkus came out with a lot of energy out of that timeout. Good jump serve working on Maxwell into the ceiling. That's still in play, but not for long. Effectively an ace for Joe Kawayakamoa. Like I mentioned, the former setter, now 19-16. Joe, just a phenomenal all-around volleyball player. His ball control, his hand contact, his long, high reach, and his vision of the game. Short serve there, forces the overpass. Suarez diving, barely keeps it alive. Nadazhdin absolutely destroyed right through Vaz's arms. Talk about momentum. Volleyball, obviously such a momentum-based game. Rukkus snagged it, seized it out of that timeout. But Ascension have ripped it right back. Kawayakamoa again. Maxwell down the line and another double contact, this time called against Schmitz. 21-16 now, the Phoenix Ascension lead. Just out of bounds that time by Kawayakamoa, and the run is over. But excellent work by Phoenix, pushing back against that Rukkus run out of the timeout. This will be Maxwell serving. Palos to the front row. Rotations 5 receive here. Nadazhdin and Olsen, front row options for Melcher. Excellent pass by Kawayakamoa. Back one to Olsen, blocked and in. Just inside the end line by Kaveen Vaz. Terrific read, fronting the middle blocker, not being fooled by the mix-up and approach path. 18-21 now, a score that a lot of teams will simulate in practice, practicing terminating on that lead and coming back from that same deficit. Good block touch by Vaz, effectively a free ball here. Maxwell out of the bick, and a back row attack violation is called. Maxwell stepping on the 3-meter attack line as he jumped to hit that ball, and as a back row player, eligible to jump and hit the ball as long as both of his feet leave from behind that line. So that's a big break for Phoenix. And a 2-point swing as a service substitute comes in here. Number 1 in purple, Jesus Itagire. Backup libero, who played phenomenally well yesterday. Good float serve there. Wexter on the right side. Not good hand contact and badly missed out of bounds down the line. And now a commanding lead for Phoenix. 5 points, 23-18. On the verge here in set number 1. Good hand pass by Maxwell. Palos on the left side, and another hitting error. This time into the antenna before it touched the block of Zach Melcher. And with set point coming up here for Phoenix, Rukkus is going to call timeout. Very interesting momentum swing here in set number 1 as Ascension put a little run on them midway through the set. Rukkus called timeout, grabbed it back. Ascension keeping their foot on the gas. Now on the verge of getting on the board in this matchup for one set. We'll see if they can close it out, but as we know, like we're talking about volleyball being a momentum game, even if Rukkus does not make this comeback, any momentum that they can generate and take towards set number 2 could be huge for the outcome of the rest of this match, really. Serving for the set. Hand pass by Maxwell. Vaz cross body and down. Tape slowed it down a little bit. But an impressive feat of athleticism. Just look at the way that Vaz hangs through the air like that before picking which side of the sideline of the court to hit. Service sub is undone on the Ascension side. A good float serve here by Vaz. Nadazhdin for the set. Thrown into the block of Schmitz, but covered. Nadazhdin again. Cross court and down. And that is it. Phoenix Ascension stormed back after a little bit of a push midway through the set by Rukkus. Phoenix takes this at 25-19. And a really nice start for Phoenix after going down 2-0 last night against this same Rukkus squad. What changes are going to be made in set 2? Lineups, starting rotations, strategies. A lot more to get to in this match. We'll be right back for set number 2. Don't go anywhere. Let me know in the chat if you can hear my audio okay. I might keep pointing out that the sound's been off for a while. If you can hear me, let me know. Set number 2 coming your way. Schmidt serving for Rukkus, starting it off. Here's Lewis out of the back row. Sharp cross court. Missed. No touch on its way out of bounds. Schmidt's again working on Nadazhdin. Lewis out of the back row this time. Terminates against one blocker. Really nice looking swing. Good delivery by Melcher there, and a repeat set, something that we talk about a lot as a characteristic of setters that you might see in a scouting report. Schmitz to Thanen, missed out of bounds. Was it touched by Harrington? No, not quite. And we saw that same hitting error from Rukkus a couple times yesterday. That middle attack missed a little bit, wrist away, out of bounds. Overpassed and put away by Taylor Harrington. Float serve as Zach Melcher generates the overpass, and we're tied up at 2. Hitting error into the line, Wexter into the antenna. Score was incorrect before. Now the score 4 serving 1. A big start for Ascension here. Platform set all the way out to Wexter, high into the hands and covered easily. Good set by Schmitz to Thanen, picked up by Melcher on the tip. Suarez to Nadazhdin, high into the hands, covered by Suarez. Lewis over the top of the block. Oh, what a set by Como to Palos, dug by Lewis. Lewis, sharp cross court off the tape, and no touch detected. Nice rally there, some inspired defense by both teams, but it ends on the Ascension hitting error and an important side out there from Rukkus, 2 serving 4. Palos with a very interesting float serve that I'll talk about in a minute. Harrington on the 31, dug by Schmitz. This is Wexter on the right side with not that much transition, dug easily by Melcher, but a net violation committed by Phoenix on the block. Brian Lewis admitting to it right away. You see Palos' serve, he tosses his float serve with 2 hands, but more importantly, he tosses it with backspin, which is really interesting, and when he hits it kind of underneath the ball, unfortunately misses it short that time, creates a very interesting knuckle effect that's a little bit different from the conventional float serve. Dosden working on Palos. Maxwell tipped into the block but covered. This will have to be Wexter on the right side, dug by Nadazden. Lewis high over the top of the block and just wide of the sideline. Not a bad looking swing by any means, trying to go for high hands, but just missed both fingertips and the court. Big point for Rukkus there. Thanen back to serve, trailing by 1. Good rip by Thanen. Pretty good pass from Suarez. And another off-speed choice that baits the net violation by Kawiakamoa. Rolled off the fingertips and Vaz follows through into the net. Kawiakamoa has absolutely every tool in his bag offensively. All sorts of range and all sorts of speed. It's fun to watch him attack the ball. 6-4 Phoenix. Through the block of Lewis and down on the Phoenix side. It's another kill for Liam Maxwell. Service error that time gives a point to Phoenix pretty much for free. And that sends Lewis back to the line. Float serve it against Rukkus' rotation 4. Schmitz in the front row to Vaz, and he's rejected by a combination of Melcher and Olsen, both reaching to seal the seam in the 31. Phoenix playing really well right now, forcing a Rukkus timeout down 8-5. Rukkus already trailing 1-0. They do not want to let this Ascension team continue to gain any more momentum and energy. A real strength of theirs. Rukkus got to figure out a little bit of their side-out offense here out of the timeout. We will see what they come up with. Phoenix. Lewis serving out of the timeout. Where does Schmitz go here in rotation 4? See if he gets Vaz involved on a perfect pass. Now Maxwell on the left side into the block of Melcher and just out of bounds. That's a nice delivery from Schmitz. Quick in tempo to the outside, and Maxwell puts it away. High off the hands, and he now goes back to serve. What a lucky break on the ace. Maxwell clips the tape and lands just inside the sideline. No way can anybody on the Ascension side get to that ball. Lucky break for Maxwell. His team's back within 1, 7 serving 8. Maxwell again. That ball may have been going in. Nicely played by Lewis, and now Kawiakamoa with the swing, dug by Como. What a push that time by Schmitz, and hammered through a small seam by Luis Palos. That was an outstanding set by number 7 in blue. Off a pretty good dig by number 21 in gray, Garrett Kamizarek, nicknamed Como, who has been flying all over the floor digging balls here. Maxwell again, this time with a service error. Jump serve, but misses well long. 9-9 now, Rukkus right back into this thing. Kaveen Vaz to serve, rotation 5 receive here for Phoenix. Just out of bounds. On the float serve there, this time by Mark Olsen. I like that he's going for it, though. He had some success with that big, heavy-handed hybrid yesterday. Dumped to the floor with two hands by Melcher. What a smart play by the front row setter. Melcher at about 6'4", played briefly at Cal Baptist before transferring to Grand Canyon. A physical front row presence at the setter position. Schmitz to Thanen, hammered cross body and just inside the deep cross court corner. Really nice run there. Ball passed a little bit low, and Schmitz able to feed his big middle blocker anyway. Not an easy connection there that Rukkus is still working to figure out, and that's a big confidence booster. Paulus with that serve then, well watched by Suarez. Harrington out of the 31, dug by Schmitz off the touch. Wexter is roofed by Harrington right on the sideline. Terrific move by number 42 in purple that time, closing the door on Michael Wexter, and he's going to go to the bench here, replaced by number 14, Eric Jansen, who played pretty well this morning. Wexter just hasn't been his traditional efficient self hitting on the right side, and a dimension of the offense that Rukkus is missing. We'll see what difference Jansen can make. Down the line by Maxwell. What a great set again by Schmitz. So fast. No way for the Ascension blockers to catch up to the speed of that ball. And exactly in Maxwell's wheelhouse as he smokes it down the line. This team's really starting to heat up here. Daniel to serve. See how long it takes for Schmitz to go back over his head to Eric Jansen here. Vaz tipped out of the middle, but thrown back by Kauyakamoa, covered. The ceiling gets in the way of that set. Sent over as a free ball for Phoenix. This is Lewis on the right side, and he's roofed by Vaz. Maxwell there as well, and Kaveen Vaz really asserting his dominance in the blocking game right now. Excellent move, excellent penetration. No seams left by number 27 in blue, and nowhere for Lewis to go that time. Jansen opting for the foot serve while it continues to get warm. This is Kauyakamoa into the block, and another stuff block by Vaz. This man is everywhere. Excellent lateral quickness and reading the game. 14-13 now. Rukkus with their first lead of the set. Lewis on the backside, crushed down the line. What a dig by Como. Maxwell thrown into the block. Covered somehow by Maxwell. Going to be a free ball here for Phoenix. Olsen deflected by Vaz and dug by Jansen. Down the line, Maxwell again. Rukkus is really firing up right now. 15-13. I think Phoenix is going to take a timeout here. Yes, they will. Give me a minute, guys, while I troubleshoot a little bit of the audio, see if we can get everything fixed. But a great match developing. We'll be right back. Sound test, guys. Let me know if the sound sounds okay in the chat. Changed a couple things during that timeout. 15-13 Rukkus with Jansen at the line. Lewis on the right side, a little bit overset all the way back there and into the antenna. Lewis can't quite make the adjustment. Now 16-13. What a turnaround by Rukkus here. Jansen again keeping this ball in play, working on to Dosden. This is Kauyakamoa on the left side. High off the block of Schmitz, but covered easily. This is a big chance here for Maxwell in transition. Rolled by Olsen. But that rolled by Maxwell, but ended up being blocked by Olsen. Olsen's fingertips just barely long enough to stuff block that ball. Glad to hear audio's a little bit better. Just swapped out a cable. Hopefully we're good for the rest of the match. (14-16) now. Ascension trails after leading early on, and for most of the set, the momentum now firmly here with Rukkus. Jansen's first look offensively, cross-court dug by Lewis. And the pineapple by Zach Melcher. What a great play by the front row setter. I mentioned Zach Melcher being big and physical. 6'4" setter out of Grand Canyon, and we've seen both of these setters pull that pineapple move throughout this weekend. A really nice choice. Maxwell wins the joust against Melcher, throws him to the floor. What a play by number 24 in blue. Nice physical clash at the net, which was won by Liam Maxwell, and he goes back to serve here. That ball may have been going in. Pass by Suarez up into the ceiling, and it falls. That's an ace for Liam Maxwell and Rukkus, and they lead by 3. An incredible turnaround. Can point to a few moments where this run may have been keyed, but in my head, I believe it was a couple blocks in a row from Kevin Vaz, who's back in the front row right now, looking to continue that momentum for Rukkus. Good serving here from Maxwell. Perfect pass by Nadazhdin. Crossbody from Olsen, dug. Lewis barely able to run it down. Olsen again, covered by Kawiakamoa. Kawiakamoa cross court, and the heater. Too much for Maxwell to handle. That's a huge play for Phoenix. They absolutely needed that point. Kawiakamoa again here from the service line, trailing by 2. A crucial moment here in this match. Platform set coming out here to Palos. Thrown to the floor on the overpass by Melcher. Not a good set that time off of Schmitz's platform. And a huge point on serve for the Phoenix Ascension. Now they trail by 1. Rotation 5 receive here. Vaz and Palos in the front row. Just barely out of bounds on the float serve. A huge sigh of relief from the entire Rukkus sideline. The service substitute in here, number 9, Matt Evans. Backup outside hitter out of Long Beach State. Replaces Kevin Vaz to serve and play some defense. Passed right on the net. Rescued by Melcher. Was that touch? Is this going to be 4 contacts? No. The defensive play can't quite be made. That was all clean. Let play on, and Nadazhdin tips it to the floor. Big play there. Service sub is undone on the Rukkus side and inserted on the Phoenix side. Jesus Itzagire comes in here to serve and play some defense for Mark Olsen. Float serve working on Maxwell's hands. Pass well off the net. This will be Como to Palos. Dug by Nadazhdin. Huge opportunity here. Kawiakamoa out of the pipe, crossbody. Outstanding set choice by Melcher. 1 blocker at most up there against that big attack. And that's a wrinkle of the offense that Phoenix hasn't quite instituted, at least in system so far this weekend. That is an element that I know they have. Ace serve, Jesus Itzagire. That serve dropped right off a cliff right after it got over the receiver's heads, right inside the end line. And an outstanding service substitution. Phoenix takes the lead. Perfect pass. Palos, sharp cross court off the touch of Melcher. That's 2 touches. That should be 4 contacts, but the block by Melcher is good anyway. Phoenix storms all the way back, and this has to be a Rukkus timeout, and it is. Listen to the excitement from the Ascension sideline. This is what a service sub is all about right there. Itzagire with an ace and just letting his team play some block transition defense and get a couple swings. Melcher doing a great job blocking and being physical in the front row as well, and a huge turnaround after it seemed like Rukkus had all the momentum in the world. 21-19 Phoenix triggers the timeout. absolutely crucial, pivotal moment in this match right now. Rukkus needs a side out to stay alive in this set, and going down 2-0, you never know what's going to happen. Rotation 6 receives Schmitz with Palos and Thanen in the front row. Thanen crushed out of the middle, and just what the doctor ordered for SoCal's Team Rukkus. Is the service sub going to be undone here on the Phoenix side? Now 2021, this set is far from over. Remember, you must win by 2. We'll see if Rukkus can push this thing to extras. Good serve working on Nadazhdin's hands. Over the top of the block. That ball's kicked, still alive. Legal play. Nadazhdin again, this time tipped and dug by Maxwell. Huge opportunity here for Palos. Barely kept alive by Lewis. Nadazhdin again, over the top of the block, touched and in. What a play that time. A kick save by Jeff Schmitz on the far side of your screen. But eventually, Serge Nadazhdin with an outstanding high-contacted put-away over the block and in. A big moment right here. Rotation 1 receive here for Rukkus. This will be Jansen on the left side, over the block. Did he get the touch? Yes, he did. That's a good call. I noticed that deflection off of Lewis's fingertips right away, and an honorable, responsible, sportsmanlike call by Brian Lewis right away, admitting to the touch. That's the right call there. Jansen with the side out, and Palos back to serve. 21-22. This has got to be Nadazhdin. No, one-handed set to Kawayakamo out of the pipe. Maxwell down the line again. He's having so much success hitting that shot, and we're tied up at 22. What a match we have going on here. Palos to break the tie. Perfect pass by Suarez. Nadazhdin high over the top of the block and in the deep cross-court corner. That is absolutely unstoppable. And I talked about how Ascension relies on Nadazhdin there in rotation 1. Absolutely Melcher's go-to guy. But it doesn't matter if Rukkus knows where it's going if they still can't stop him. That was a great swing by Serge, and he goes back to serve here. Good rip. Handled by Palos. Pass right on the net, and a net violation by Jeff Schmitz as he jumps and reaches to set that ball. And that is a huge play that brings up Ascension's set point, 24-22. Where does Schmitz go to get out of this rotation? And Rukkus needing 2 points here to force extras. Another good serve. Maxwell again, high into the hands. This is a big chance for Phoenix to win the set. Kawayakamoa tipped over the top of the antenna and out of bounds. The connection not quite there, so Rukkus achieves the side out. But now it'll be Jacob Thanen, the middle blocker, back to serve with Kevin Vaz in the front row. This is an absolutely crucial point. Set point, number 2 for Phoenix. Good serve, handled by Kawayakamoa's hands. Lewis on the right side, into the block of Vaz, but covered by Harrington. This is Lewis again. Another good block touch, kept alive by Schmitz. Jansen kept alive. Maxwell into the ceiling on its way over the net, and that is it. A good defensive play by Rukkus, not able to be kept alive, and the Ascension barely take set number 2. 25-23 in this best 3 out of 5 set match. A commanding 2-0 lead for the Phoenix Ascension after some inspired volleyball by both sides. But remember, yesterday in this exact same matchup, Rukkus went up 2-0, and Phoenix stormed all the way back to win the match in 5. So this is not over yet. More volleyball coming your way. Set number 3. Stay tuned.
want to explain really quickly how VLA Tier 2 kind of works. Rukkus and then Team Irvine Xtreme, the other team playing this weekend, members of that newly created division, a new model instituted by the VLA to accommodate some of the growth of the league and the interest that we've had by so many teams wanting to play some VLA volleyball. Some interested teams have been invited to join VLA Tier 2 this season and get to compete in regular season events. See how they compete, see how their organizations fit, and eventually perhaps join VLA Tier 1 down the road. So an excellent growth model and a fun piece of expansion that we get to follow over the league for the next several seasons. Rukkus, an exceptionally talented team that we are very excited to have in VLA Tier 2 competing this season and this weekend. And we will see if in this match they can come back against the exceptional service pressure and energy of the Phoenix Ascension. I'm Rob St. Clair. Thanks again for joining us live on the VLA YouTube channel. If you're not already, please subscribe to the channel so that you will know every time a match goes live, every time a highlight video gets posted, podcast episodes, the whole thing. We really utilize our YouTube channel a lot. It's important to the growth of the league, so make sure you're subscribed to the channel and checking us out here. And if you know anybody else who you think might want to watch some volleyball all day long today, share it with your friends. Jansen going to stay in the game here at opposite for Rukkus. Melcher starting off serving for Phoenix. And he starts it off with a service error. Schmitz against rotation 1 for Phoenix. We know they like to go to Nadazin in this rotation. Here he is. Crushed down the line off of Como and out of play. Look at that body angle that Nadazin's able to pull off. His shoulders facing entirely to the inside. But that incredible inside-out arm and wrist action just hammering that ball down the line. Not common to see right-handers that good at hitting that shot. Nadazin's so much fun to watch. Perfect pass this time by Como! And what a block by Harrington against Thanen in the middle. Excellent read by number 42 in purple. Absolutely closing the door that time. Rukkus now in rotation 1. Jansen, Thanen, Palos. The front row hitting options. Schmitz to Jamson, who keeps it alive inside the antennas, but a big opportunity here for Lewis. Nice block touch, though. Where does Schmitz go here? Bick to Maxwell, crossbody puts it away. And man, let me tell you, there are just not many more fun things to watch than that Bick attack run at the highest level. A wrinkle in high-level offense that's become so common in the game over the last 10 or 15 years. That middle back outside hitter coming flying in out of the back row to create those mismatches mathematically between servers and blockers. Lewis on the right side, down the line, but barely into the antenna. And a missed opportunity there, as there is definitely some real estate to the outside of the block that time. That red and white candy cane pull that extends above the sidelines, immediately out of bounds if the ball hits it. Perfect pass by Suarez. One-handed set from Melcher to Kawiakamoa, tipped over, and a big opportunity here for Rukkus. Jansen, tight set, tipped over, handled by Suarez. But into the ceiling and an odd bounce results in the ball falling on the Ascension side. And Palos back to serve here for Rukkus, now with a quick lead, 4 serving 2. Perfect pass by Nadazden. Kawiakamoa through the block of Jansen and down. Good move by the 6'7" opposite Jansen to reach back to the inside and try and take away that seam. But Kawiakamoa just fast enough. Not a good service error that time by Taylor Harrington. Jacob Thain into the line. Kaveen Vaz into the match here for Rukkus. Good rip by Thanen. And good enough to be an ace. Off the platform, I believe, of Nadazden and wide of the Rukkus sideline. Excellent service pressure, something that Rukkus has kind of been missing so far in this match. I like Thanen going after it. 6-3 Rukkus. Another great rip. Kawiakamoa can barely keep it alive, but somehow able to tool the block of Eric Jansen. And a saving point there by Joe Kawiakamoa. A huge play there to get Jacob Thanen off the service line, who was clearly heating up back there. Now Brian Lewis. Good pass by Paulos. Jansen on the right side. High over the block, deep cross court, and he terminates. That is an outstanding swing by the former Grand Canyon University opposite, Eric Jansen. Good hand contact by Jansen on the jump serve, right on the net. One-handed set to Olsen. Was it touched on its way out of bounds? No. And just barely passed too tight by Phoenix for Melcher to handle and run the offense. And a nice lead here for Rukkus, 8-4 in set 3, despite trailing 2-0. They're really fighting back here. Perfect pass by Nadazdin. Kawiakamoa absolutely destroyed sharp cross court, 1-on-1. What a bomb that was by number 8 in purple. You wouldn't be able to tell that he was ever a setter at any point in his career if we just looked at that swing. Perfect hand pass by Como again, dumped over, but easily handled by Suarez. Kawiakamoa out of the pipe, but an excellent off-speed choice, tipped just over the fingertips of the block. Kawiakamoa, we talked about how good his off-speed game is, but really that big attack, pipe attackers at any level don't use off-speed nearly enough, in my opinion. It's a great mix-up. Maxwell is roofed by Melcher and Olsen that time. Attempted to exploit a small seam, but Olsen came out of nowhere to close it. And Ascension with a great pushback here in this run. 3 points in a row. They're back within 1. Cuts that serve short, handled by Maxwell, but he's out of the offense. Vaz! Did he make it through the block? I don't think so. I think that's a stuff block by Phoenix once again, with Melcher and Olsen converging. We are all tied up at 8 all of a sudden, and it's all because of this jump service run from Kawiakamoa. He unleashes that one. Maxwell explodes down the line. What a weekend this guy is having. Liam Maxwell, number 24 in blue, bursting onto the VLA scene. Gives his team a 1-point advantage once again. Now Maxwell serving 9, serving 8. A lot of real estate to the left in zone 1 with Kawiakamoa over there, but misses that one with some poor hand contact just out of bounds. And this is Olsen, who's not going to be substituted for this serve. Let's see what serve he goes for, how aggressive he is. Pretty conservative, handled well by Como. This is Vaz, and he's rejected by Harrington. Number 42 in purple, Taylor Harrington out of Arizona State, is having himself a match right now. Melcher got him involved very early in set number 1 in the offense, and he's been active blocking ever since, as has Olsen, who's serving once again. Good move by Como, right on the net, and the joust thrown to the floor by Jeff Schmitz. What a play by the Rukkus setter. And everybody knows how good setters typically are at that joust exchange. I don't care about size. Nice play that time by number 7 in blue. And another service sub. This is Matt Evans once again, number 9 in blue, replacing Kaveen Vaz to serve and play some defense. Service error that time by Evans. A tough job to come off the bench and put in a jump serve right away. You got to be ready for it. Service sub is undone, and Zach Melcher now back to the line in a very good blocking rotation for Phoenix. Paulos and Thanen are Schmidt's fellow front row options. Jansen on the D-ball. Nice swing, kept alive by Melcher. Can it be sent over? Yes, it can! Jansen again sends over a free ball that had to be handled by Melcher. Lewis on the right side, down the line and right on the sideline. That ball's in right on the sideline. And an incredible chase down by Joe Kawiakamoa all the way by the end of the Phoenix Ascension bench, barely able to send that ball back over the net, and it turns into a point for Phoenix. An incredible play that time. Nice swing by Lewis to terminate it. Palos down the line, he misses it wide. Just barely out of bounds, a little too much thumb up side spin on that ball. Phoenix from down 8-4 has stormed all the way back with a 9-2 run. What a momentum shift by the Purple Cactus, man, in a Rukkus timeout here, down by 3, 13-10. So impressed by what Phoenix is doing right now on their side. And if you like what you're seeing from the Phoenix Ascension, even after this match, they are going to be in action again at 2 p.m. Mountain, 2 hours from right now. It's 4 p.m. Eastern, 1 p.m. Pacific, in a rematch from last night against Team Irvine Xtreme, who took this Rukkus squad to 5 sets this morning. So that's going to be another really good one. Full match descriptions and links to our Instagram and our website and anything you might want to know should be in the description of this YouTube video. So if you're not already up to date on everything happening around the VLA, make sure you check out those links and follow us everywhere you can. Melcher serving out of the timeout, 13-10 Phoenix. Perfect hand pass by Palos and thrown to the floor. Great play that time by Schmitz, taking a page out of Melcher's book that we saw earlier in the match. Absolutely nobody home on that set or dump play. Good float serve by Schmitz. Pushed all the way to the outside to Lewis, and what a block that time by Jansen, one-on-one. I love that blocking move that Jansen is making, getting his feet all the way out to whatever he's designated as the spot he's going to take on the block, and then pressing his arms back to the inside. Gets the better of Lewis that time. And here's Nadazin on the right side, dug by Schmitz, barely rescued by Suarez. Great block touch by Palos, but again rescued by Suarez. Nadazin a third time, and finally good enough to score. Serge Nadazin is an absolute workhorse, man. 6'7" out of Long Beach State. An excellent college career. And like a few of these Ascension guys, has some background with this Rukkus team. Serge, being from SoCal, along with CJ Suarez, has played with Rukkus before in several adult tournaments. So a lot of familiarity between these two teams. What a set that time by Schmitz! Incredible one-handed grab and smoke to the floor by Jacob Thanen. That was awesome. This is Palos with the float serve. Perfect pass by Suarez. Harrington! Absolute no-doubter out of the middle, wrist away. Both teams showing a little bit of a return to the middle attack, and another service substitute going to come in here. Number 20 in purple, BJ Hiapo, backup setter, played libero actually at BYU, the cousin of Joe Kawiakamoa and the MVP of last night's match against Irvine Xtreme. Going to serve and play some defense. Into the block is Jansen and gets a nice deflection off of Olsen. It's good enough to score. Hiapo back to the bench, and the service sub is undone for Phoenix. Thanen, and a big opportunity here for Rukkus. You saw how well Thanen served his last trip to the line. Of course, the middle blocker out of Stanford. His team trails by 1. Another good serve. Wow, Kawiakamoa over the top of the block, and that's absolutely unstoppable. Palos couldn't handle it. Terrific set by Melcher and a high contact point by number 8 in purple. Blocking in volleyball just set up not only just to get stuff blocks and touches, but to take up space around which the defenders can align themselves. And if you're a hitter who can hit over the top of the block, there's not going to be anybody who can stop you. Lewis to serve here for Phoenix, rotation 3 receive. We haven't really seen Kaveen Vaz offensively in a little bit while. This is Maxwell on the left side off the platform, and he tools the block of Melcher and out of bounds. Nice footwork, accelerating and catching up to that quicker set. Jansen again. Jump spin serve, trying to work the deep cross-court corner, but misses it a few tiles out of bounds. Big opportunity here for Phoenix, one of their very best service rotations with a great server in Kawiakamoa at the line. Who does he go after? Maxwell passed right on the net and thrown to the floor by Nadazhdin. Right on cue, Joe Kawiakamoa generates the overpass. And just a little bit too much heat for Liam Maxwell to handle. Serge Nadazhdin takes care of business on the overpass, and the Ascension lead is 3. Pass to the left side of court by Como. This is Maxwell against 2 blockers. That's 1 touch, 2. 3 touches can be sent over. No, not quite. Big stuff blocked that time by the physical setter, Zach Melcher, with Mark Olson there as well. And Rukkus is going to burn their second and final team timeout here. Trailing by 4, 19-15, and in danger of letting this match slip away. It looked very promising early on in set 1, but Ascension, again with their foot on the gas, in a great position to take this match. We will see if Rukkus can re-seize that momentum out of the timeout. Big serve coming here from Kawiakamoa out of the timeout. Passed right on the net by Palos. A little bit too high for Vaz to get good wood on it. Here's Nadazhdin for a huge point, and what a block that is. Kavin Vaz slamming the door closed on Nadazhdin. Just an outstanding move by number 27 in blue, and I think a service substitute. No. A very interesting substitution here. Michael Wexter, number 1 in blue, coming in from Jess Schmitz as a blocking sub, which is a sub that I really like. But we also saw in the last match Wexter capable of setting the offense in transition if it comes to that. But you've got to put a big guy up against Nadazhdin here. Oh, Vaz reaches back, barely kept alive, and Vaz with the footwork can't quite send it back over. That would have been awesome, but a little bit of a mistake by Vaz reaching back to try and scoop that ball up. And Wexter going to stay in here to set the offense and serve receive. Rotation 5 with Palos and Vaz the front row options, and the service sub Itzagire is in here once again. Perfect pass by Como. Vaz, absolutely unstoppable out of the middle. Not sure if that was around, over, or through the block of Taylor Harrington, but that is just what the doctor ordered for Rukkus that time. And Wexler going to stay in here, this rotation to block against Phoenix's rotation 6. I like that move, trying to shut down Serge Nadazhdin. Where's Melcher going to go here? Great pass by Kawiakamoa. Good block touch there by Wexter. Kawiakamoa out of the pipe, barely kept alive by Jansen, but the pancake play can't quite be made. And I kind of expected Melcher to get Kawiakamoa involved on the pick, knowing that there's a bigger block against Nadazhdin than he's used to. Sure enough, Joe K gets the put away. And now 21-17 Phoenix. Rukkus needs perfect side out, and then we'll see what happens on their serve. Palos hammered through a seam in the block and inside the end line. Great vision by number 10 in blue. His teammates on the sideline asking him, where did you find that seam? Wexter to serve here, staying in, even to set as a back row player. Good float serve working on Suarez's hands. Pass a little bit off the net. This is Nadazhdin on the right side through a small seam, and he puts it away. Crucial moment there for the Phoenix Ascension to get out of that rotation quickly. And we know Nadazhdin's their guy. He now goes back to serve. 22-18. 3 more points for Phoenix to take an impressive potential sweep here in their third match of the weekend. Great pass by Como. Jansen is rejected by Lewis. And is that the nail in the coffin for Rukkus in rotation 1? A tough rotation to get out of sometimes. With a little bit of a different setter, trying to run the offense, and a dangerous server back there for Ascension. Jansen in the block again. The